Welcome into the New Orleans Saints podcast, presented by SeatGeek. You'll hear from players, coaches, broadcasters, and writers that cover the NFL on a daily basis. The New Orleans Saints podcast starts right now. Here's your host, Erin Summers.
Welcome into the New Orleans Saints podcast. Today, we have several more new Saints, well, 2 new and 1 returning. In defensive end, Jonah Williams, offensive lineman Will Clapp, and running back Velus Jones Jr. New Orleans native Will Clapp played at Brother Martin and LSU before being drafted by the Saints in 2018, so this is a reunion. He is back most recently after playing in Buffalo. Jonah Williams comes from the Lions, but spent the majority of his career with the Rams and was part of their Super Bowl win. And then Velus Jones Jr. was drafted by the Bears in 2022 out of Tennessee. He's primarily played receiver and returner and dabbled in running back last season. That's what the Saints signed him as. We're going to kick this off with my sit down with Will Clapp, but before we get to that, don't forget there is that big event this weekend in Elmwood at the new Cox store. They are celebrating with Cam Jordan, who has taken a break from his off-season training to meet fans, take a look at all of the new products from our friends at Google. The first 70 people that get there will get a free football. It is from 12 to 2, March 22nd. That is this Saturday at 1130 South Clearview Parkway. That's the new Cox store. So let's get into our first interview, kick things off with Will Clapp, then we'll get into Velus Jones and Jonah Williams. Here on the New Orleans Saints podcast, I'm Erin Summers along with center, guard, interior lineman Will Clapp, back with the Saints. Man, second time around. And people like to say that the Saints don't draft LSU players, but you were one of them.
I was one of them. I remember when I first got drafted, it was kind of like a big deal, but coming in the locker room now, there's I think 5 or 6 of us, and I'm excited to see all those guys. There's
a couple that you actually played with, too. So Gotcha, somebody that is a new signee as well, and then Foster Morrow. What is that like? How does that help you kind of transition back in?
I'm just so excited to see all those guys. In high school, I played Foster all the time. I was a Brother Martin guy. He was a Jesuit guy. And then we became very good friends at LSU. He was one of my groomsmen at my wedding, so obviously still close with him. Gotcha, same recruiting class as me. So, we've been playing against each other for a while. And then, playing with Clyde. So a lot of familiarity with all these guys.
When you found out that the Saints wanted to bring you back, what was that moment like?
I remember I was just chilling at the house one day, playing on the ground with my son, and my agent called me, and Saints were talking about getting a contract done. And I was just so excited. I couldn't believe it was, probably going to come together. And from that moment on, I was pretty focused about hey, let's just get this done. I don't want to entertain anything else right now.
So first thought was, I'm absolutely going to go back there.
Yeah, for sure. I had a great year in Buffalo last year, loved it, but at the same time, my wife and kids didn't travel with me, and I was kind of missing home, being out there by myself. And as soon as that even came a possibility, I was like, let's lock this in. What
makes playing for the Saints so special?
One, I think it's the organization. This is still by far the best organization I've played for. I loved every second I was here for my first 4 years. And then two, just, being in New Orleans, I grew up here, the fan base, the environment, I don't think you can beat that in the NFL.
Yeah, the fans are extremely passionate. They like to have fun. It gets the dome rocking. What are you looking forward to most getting back in there?
Who that chant at the start of the game, that still, gives you chills every time you get to experience that. And really just, playing in front of the fan base. I have such great memories from my first 4 years. Had some, some big wins and some fantastic runs that we went on. So I'm excited to experience that again.
You not only have familiarity with some of the players here already, but the coaching staff. Even though it's new here, you've played with a lot of them. Kellen Moore, Newsmeyer, Brandon Nugent. You've already had experience with the people that you're going to be directly working with. So how much does that help?
Yeah, so Kellen was the OC my last year in LA, and then I've been with Nuge every year of my career except last year. So that familiarity definitely helps coming into the building, just kind of knowing what to expect when it comes to the playbook, knowing what Nuge expects in his room and his techniques. So I'm definitely excited to get back with those guys and do what I can and help wherever I can.
What does it say about you that they wanted to bring you back and play for them again?
Yeah, I think I just try to do the best job I can in the role they put me in. I pride myself on, as a backup lineman, sometimes you find out the day before a game, you're going to start or have, more reps than you were expecting, and just priding myself on preparing every week like you're going to start every snap. And, I feel like that's always helped me throughout my career when people bring me in.
How do you handle that versatility, not knowing if it's going to be today or at what position?
Yeah, I think it's every day in the meeting room, like I said, attacking it like, hey, I'm starting this game. Because I've had games where like night before in LA, news come up to me saying, hey, like you're starting tomorrow. Like, a guy got sick or something like that, or a guy's injury, turned out he couldn't go. So, having that mindset, you never have to get prepared because you're always prepared.
How do you feel like you're going to fit in with the line here?
I feel like it's going to go over smooth. I still, keep up and good friends with Eric and Caesar. And I know they got some young, talented players, so I'm excited to come in and see how they operate, and hopefully I can bring something to the room from some veteran standpoints. You
said that the Kellen Moore offense was your favorite that you ever played. Why?
I think most of all, like the terminology was just like everything made sense. Everything had a meaning behind it. Nothing was like too crazy that you had to like, make something up in your head, like make sense of it. Everything was to the point, and I absolutely loved when I was playing in that offense in LA, and I'm excited to see them put it together here. When you started here with the Saints, you were center for Drew Brees. What did you learn from that experience? Man, playing for Drew was like crazy. He, I was a little kid when they signed him, so it was a little weird, like getting in the locker room and he was still going. But Drew's passion for the game and just the way he went about it, like you saw how he worked day in and day out, and I thought that was great for like young players, especially like myself, to see how to be a pro and how to attack every day as an NFL player. You mentioned that your family is here in New Orleans, wife, your kids here today as you signed your papers. What is Will like outside of the locker room and off of a football field? Yeah, I mean, most of the time, like we're kind of homebodies, like just hanging out at the house. Y'all met my daughter today. Mm-hmm. She's kind of running the house. She big personality, and she's running us around. So we're always just hanging out with the kids, doing family stuff. Me personally, I like to just like go golf and hang out with some friends on the weekends. We don't get into anything too crazy. Now that you're back here, where do you have to go eat? My first stop when I got back was Impastato's, good little Italian spot in Metairie. Mm-hmm. My family's been eating there forever, so that was my first stop. Yeah, makes sense. It's a good place, and there's a lot of history in there. Oh yeah. Well, we look forward to having you on the field again coming up this fall. It's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you and congratulations. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be back. Velus, thank you so much for joining me on the New Orleans Saints podcast. It's great to have you. How are you doing?
I'm blessed. Dug into my devotionals this morning. Thank God. I woke up. I was able to train this morning with some speed training, and then I hit the weight room hard, and also got some soft tissue after. So I can't complain about anything. How about yourself? Yeah, I'm doing great. Sounds like you're already getting ready for the season, which we love to hear. What are you looking forward to about joining the team here? Man, just like the culture, like the winning tradition. Everybody knows Saints have the craziest fans in the NFL. And I didn't grow up as a Saints fan, but a lot of people in my family were, including my father. I wasn't big on the NFL. I was more big on the college side. But I'm really excited, to contribute, get in and work, get really familiar, like with my teammates, build this chemistry, these bonds and stuff. Because at the end of the day, it's a brotherhood because, we go to war on the field together. Yeah. Out there, risking our lives together. So, I mean, we're one. So, really just ready to get in and work, get into work, OTAs, and just get the ball rolling. You obviously have some familiarity with some of the guys on the team already, former college roommate and teammate in Alontae Taylor. So you have an idea of maybe the defensive side, but offensively, do you know any of the guys there? Oh, yeah, me and Chris, Alave, we talked a lot. AK, yeah, me and AK are close and stuff. So, yeah, it's a couple guys I know on the team that I'm familiar with and close to. So, especially AK, he's like a bigger brother to me.
You've played both receiver and running back in your career, obviously a really good return specialist as well. So you're going to kind of hang out in both rooms, all of the rooms here with Chris and AK and everybody?
I'm definitely looking forward to that. I know my agent said, obviously, like when I get the ball in my hands, I mean, you can see what I can do, no matter if it's at receiver, running back, like when I'm gone, like when I break, I'm gone. And so they like those abilities and the fact that, I play receiver as well, so I feel like they're going to do a lot of, different things with me. So I'm just, I'm excited, especially about, the joint practice, the preseason, just to get back out there and, do my thing.
Well, the one-on-one drills get pretty intense, especially when it comes to Alontae Taylor. I know you guys did that a lot in college, but he has a lot of pride, and he likes to say he wins them every single time. Are you going to be able to get him?
I definitely got Alontae more times at Tennessee than he got me. He got me. He got me a few times, but I definitely won more reps when it came to the one-on-one. So, but no, he's definitely the most difficult corner I went against out of college. Like I said, I know he takes a lot of pride in the one-on-one. So, this should be like really fun. It'll be a reunion again for sure.
Are you going to move in with him again?
You saw? Oh man, come over and kick it and stuff. But I guess like we're much older, more grown. Definitely probably have our own spots with kicking it for sure. But it's definitely gonna be a little heated out there. I mean, that's how it was at practice. It's like we hate each other on the field, but afterwards, we come and like laugh about it for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me the origin of your first name or how you got it.
Oh, Velus?
Yeah.
I'm a junior. My father is a senior, and I honestly will probably have to get back with you. I think you'll never, ever hear it again, especially like the way it's spelled. You will never, ever hear another Velus for sure.
Yeah.
So I definitely plan on making my son the third.
It is definitely a unique name. I've never seen it before, and I've had to practice it a few times to make sure that I pronounce it correct.
But if I'm not mistaken, my former teammate, Cairo, the kicker for the Chicago Bears, he was like, my name in like Portuguese is like means like fast or like super fast. So that's what he told me. That's what he told me. So
okay.
You'll definitely have to look up that because he's from Brazil.
Okay. I mean, I could see that because velo, like velocity, kind of looks similar to that. So I could buy that.
I think my grandma knew what she was doing. I mean, speed definitely runs in the family. We have history of track stars and stuff. So yeah, speed definitely runs in the family.
When I was looking at your social media, you had a pinned tweet on your Twitter about how you were an underdog, how you used to be the underdog, and now you made it when you got to the NFL. Mm-hmm. What was it about you that made you feel like that?
I would say since a kid, like people I'm close to, they know like everything I ever like spoken to existence. Like my grandmother was like big on that. She didn't like any like negative talk, negativity and stuff. She'll get on to us, like telling us like we hope so, like anything like maybe or like I won't and stuff. Like we weren't allowed to use like those words, like I will, like. And so I just like manifested. Like I literally talked everything like I ever dreamed of into existence. And every dream I had from a kid, I did it. Mm-hmm. It was just the fact that I knew I was special and I knew I was different, but I just felt like a lot of people didn't see it that way. I definitely went through a lot on and off the field. I mean, obviously, being with my mom at first, she was on Section 8 housing and like Walter Williams projects to Seabreeze. And then that's when I had moved to Saraland. My mom had 3 kids before me, so it was a lot on her plate. So moved to Saraland with my grandmother and my father. And, just like I've been through so much and career-wise, it was like I always had to go through so much adversity, mm-hmm. like just to make it out on the other end. Like when I tell you, like God is definitely like tested my faith, like everything I believed in. And usually, that's how it works, to see if you're going to be this loyal servant. You're going to turn your back on them. And so, I stay strong in my faith, all the morals and stuff my grandmother taught me. She's a big reason why I'm so caught up in my faith, my religion. And so, yeah, basically, everything happens for a reason, but it's just like through park ball. I was at a park ball, Municipal Park Raiders. I wasn't playing as much. And then I came to Saraland. I played cornerback in park ball. And I remember Bill Silver, a legend from Saraland, he told me, like, V, you want to be a superstar? And he moved me to running back. And so at the running back, there's like Lightning V. I got all these nicknames and stuff because basically nobody can catch me, like when I was in park ball playing running back. And got to middle school, had to face some adversity there with all the older kids. I was like a late bloomer. 8th grade year I took off, and then 9th grade year, you went with the varsity team. You had to sit outside and all these things. But, I used to tell, like, people I'm going to make it to the league. Told my 5th grade teacher, she laughed at me one time and all of this. And so it was just, like, motivation. Like, and even when I got to USC, I put in a lot of work. But, I mean, obviously, it comes to a certain extent. Politics will play a toll in it because I'm a kid from Alabama. I was the first player from USC to go to Alabama in like 90-some years. Mm. So I feel like it wouldn't hurt, me not getting much playing time because I wasn't a part of the pipeline anyways, if we're speaking real. And that's when, I went to Tennessee. My last year at Tennessee when things actually took off, but I had to go through some adversity there. And so it's like my point of my career, like throughout my whole life of my career, like when things seems bad, like when it's not away or, this probably looking like the end or this and that, like I always come through on the other end. And I feel like that's just my calling. And I feel like, I want to be able to speak to the youth and stuff. I feel like God put me through all these trials and these tribulations and all through it, all this adversity and stuff, to tell my story. Because it's a lot of kids that's going through the same thing. And that's when I realized, like, it was bigger than me. It's bigger than my career. It's bigger than records or trophies or anything like that. Like, it's definitely bigger than all that. It's to tell my testimony of, how I met Jesus Christ and my journey and all the obstacles of life I went through, to inspire the youth. And so now I see things from a different perspective. And so I never ever listened to people, that tell me I can do this, I can do that, because I knew I was special. And so I feel like that's definitely my calling because just think about it. If you think about a story, a heroic story about Superman, no matter who it was, they had to go through some adversity. It looked like it was the end for them. They were going to die, but they ended up coming out on the other end. Like, what's a great story without no, adversity in it?
Yeah.
Exactly. And I feel like that's my life. It's been like that my whole entire life, from on the field to off the field. And I feel like, God's just making the story even greater.
Do you feel like getting drafted was making it, or are you still on a path to continue to achieve?
When I got drafted, that's when I can say, like, everything I ever dreamed of as a kid, became true. And so now I feel like it's a mindset of that you got to rewrite your goals. Like, I want to play in this league. What legacy I want to leave, for my last name, for my kids to come. And so, like, I feel like that's what it's about now. It's about, thinking about the ones that's going to come after you. And so what legacy I want to live, Do I want to be known as a player? Oh, yeah, he made it. Did okay in the league. Didn't last that long. Like, hell with that. Like, I want to be great. And so I feel like most definitely, like, my mindset is to keep going. Because, like I said, it's bigger than the money. It's bigger than ball itself. It's bigger than a lot of things. And so I just want to make the story even greater for my grandkids to come. Mm-hmm. Let them know, I've been through so much that anything is possible. If I can do it, you can do it.
Do you go back home a lot to Saraland and talk to people at your old high school or where you grew up?
Oh, for sure. Try not to go back too much, but definitely during Mardi Gras or when my sister graduate, all the graduations, I have a huge family. And so constantly, like, either cousins, siblings, somebody's graduating. Like, my grandparents had like 12 kids. So let's imagine that. And the old, my Aunt Bernice, she's 95. I would say like a month ago, she just turned 95. And that's the oldest out of Big Papa, Big Mama offspring. Yeah. So I have a huge family. So definitely when I go back, they don't treat me no different than not this, this NFL player. Like I'm Lil Velus, Lil Pig. They call me Lil Pig because my dad was Big Pig because they say he was hard-headed. His head was harder than pig iron. That's like an old iron for back in the day. So I got the name Lil Pig. But yeah, they look at me as the same kid that was running around the neighborhood, just having fun, chasing his dream. So that's why I feel like definitely going back home, it's definitely like a safe place. Mm-hmm. You're not looked at as like no NFL player. But I mean, obviously to your younger cousins that's looking up to you. But I'm able to, just go back and relax. Yeah. Like I feel like it's good for my mental. See my parents, mom, my siblings on each side. It's definitely, good for the soul and good for my mental health as well. And just to go back and, tap in. So going back, giving back to Saraland is definitely big for me.
So if Big Pig was your dad because he was stubborn and hard-headed, does Little Pig fit you in that regard as well?
My dad's going to lie and say I was a bad kid, but I wasn't really bad. I was more like curious. Like, it's crazy this generation now. Back then, like, my family's so big, literally family and friends. Like, I'm from a community called the Blackjacks. So if you're not related, you're family friend. Mm-hmm. And their parents grew up together, and their parents grew up together. So it's just like this endless. So I grew up with probably like 50-some, 60 kids to play with outside.
Yeah.
Like a big, huge community from high school, middle school, elementary. And so my dad's going to lie and say, obviously, that I was a bad kid. I mean, that's what I guess parents say. But no, he was definitely. My grandma told me some stories about him. For sure. So he was definitely Pig. That's why they gave him the name Pig, for sure.
Okay, all right. Fair enough.
I'm nothing like that, for sure, growing up. Nothing.
Well, it's been awesome to talk to you. I'm looking forward to having you here at the facility. It'll be soon enough where OTAs are kicking off and we can see the speed that you got.
You can go and spread the rumor. It won't be a rumor that I'm the fastest on the team.
Ooh. Okay.
What do you think?
Rashid might have something to say about that.
What was his 40?
I don't know off the top of my head.
You can look it up right quick.
He is fast, though. All right, let's see.
No, he's definitely blazing. But everybody said that. Everybody always said they was fast. At first, I wasn't the fastest at Tennessee, which I was.
It says 4.3.
4.3.
Mm-hmm.
Flat.
Mm-hmm.
4.3 flat.
Yeah.
I said I ran a 4.31 at the combine, so I would say.
Okay.
And I'm probably like 20 pounds. Probably got him like 15 to 20 pounds. Not sure how big.
Yeah, I would say you probably do. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like 208, like 210. Yeah, like 208. To me, until somebody can prove it.
Okay, well, maybe we'll just have to set it up here on the field.
Up. Yeah, spread the word for sure.
All right, we'll do it. Well, thank you again. I appreciate it. It's great to get to know you some.
Most definitely. Thanks for having me.
Definitely. On the New Orleans Saints podcast, I'm Erin Summers alongside new defensive end Jonah Williams. Yeah. Welcome to the team.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Today's the day. You got to sign the paperwork and you are officially on the move.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, stoked to be here. I was told by my agent a couple days ago, like Staley's the DC here, wants you here, and I was stoked for it. I mean, I have a good relationship with him and super familiar with what he does on his defenses. We've been running it for a while, previous teams, so that was a great opportunity to be here and look forward to it.
He was somebody that you had to see right when you got here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We just went up there and met my wife for the first time. He didn't get to meet her back in 2020 in the COVID season when everything was crazy. So yeah, I got to meet him and some of the other coaches, so it's been good.
For Saints fans that aren't as familiar with him as you are, what do we need to know about Staley?
Well, when I came into the league, I mean, that's all I knew was Staley and his defense. And when he left, that defense still stayed put with the Rams when I was there. So like, I just know he made an immediate impact to that team. And I feel like it's a perfect fit for me and my play style. So you're gonna get a tough, rugged defense, and we're gonna stop the run. You know, that's my main reason to be here. I'm here to stop the run. What
makes you good at that?
It's just, I mean, I don't think I really chose to do that. I mean, from an early age, playing football, I think that's just something that I've built better instincts for. And so even in the league, it became pretty evident pretty quick that that's what I was gonna do.
You said from an early age, but you started out as a tight end.
Yeah.
And then you got switched to the line when you were in high school.
Right. Yeah.
At that point, you were 6 foot, 190 pounds.
Yeah.
And you're out there on the line.
Yeah. So late growth spurt, obviously. I mean, I'm glad it happened, but it came a little too late. It was my junior year, 6 foot, 190, and then my senior season, I just started growing a ton. Like, I wasn't really doing anything different. I was close to 6'5" by the end of my senior year in high school.
Wow.
Gained 40, 50 pounds. So, yeah. Played a little bit my junior year at D end, just get my feet wet, and then my senior year got to start and play that whole season, and ended up mustering up one offer to Weber State.
How was that transition from tight end offense to the defense, and then it obviously worked out for you?
Yeah, I mean, looking back, it was the right move, but you know, every kid wants to just catch footballs when they're young. So I mean, I was bummed at first. Like, it's like I could go play defensive line. I saw it as like offensive line as well. Like, it's just a bunch of, you know, unathletic guys is what I saw as a youth. But quickly realized how fun it was to pass rush and tackle ball carriers. So I mean, I think it was a good move looking back, but then I was pretty upset about it.
If you want to throw shade on offensive linemen, then you can just hang out with Cam Jordan, because that's all he does all the time.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Perfect. We'll get along just fine.
He says they're not smart, but I think our offensive linemen are.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see.
You mentioned Weber State, so we're familiar with it here with Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah.
You guys were teammates?
Yeah. Yeah. It's been cool because I came out before he did, but then watch him come in the league and have an immediate impact like he's had. It's been super cool to watch. Obviously had a little hiccup last year, but I know he's going to be better than ever when he's back from it, because that's just who he is. So it's been cool to watch.
Yeah, he's kind of quiet around us. He'll talk a little bit, but on the field, he definitely makes some noise. Are you looking forward to seeing him being back on the same field and in the locker room with him again?
Yeah, it's going to be super cool. I mean, it's been years. I already reached out to him and try and maybe meet up with him here in a little bit, but yeah, I'm just stoked to be back around people I know, so that's cool.
How different is New Orleans and the Saints from what you're used to?
I don't know yet, but I'm assuming it's going to be a lot different. You know, I grew up in Washington, Idaho, then Utah, so I'm really familiar with the Northwest. Got a little feel of Minnesota and Detroit last year. So it's a little further east, but down the south I don't know much about. But I mean, we were talking about last night, my wife and I we're excited for the opportunity just to go embrace another part of the country that we've never visited before.
Have you just not traveled around a lot?
No, especially recently, because we have a couple kids now, so I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old that kind of keep us
busy, I'm sure.
Super busy, yeah. So once the season was over last year, especially with being on a couple different teams last year, to finally just reunite with my wife and kids after the season, we're just kind of lay low. went on one vacation, it's off season, but besides that, we're gonna lay low.
You have been places. You went to Brazil.
Yep.
You did a mission there after
Yeah.
high school before you went to college. So you've definitely traveled, been around. How was that?
It's kind of a hard experience to describe, but I mean, the gist of it is you go somewhere for 2 years and you kind of just dedicate those 2 years to everything but yourself, right? To God, to serving other people. And so for me, I mean, it was life-changing, just being able to really embrace what it is to, be a human, just like go help other people and serve and teach. And so I truly believe I wouldn't be here today without the things that I learned in that mission, like how to do hard things, how to just be away from family, how to be disciplined, show up every day and just grind through it, especially when you may have given up opportunities for football or whatever to go do it. It was challenging, but like looking back, I wouldn't be who I am today without it. So that was amazing.
How much of an impact has it had on your playing career and where you've gotten to?
I just feel like out of the gate when I got home from my mission and went to Weber State, like I had learned a lot of lessons that I think freshmen college football players, need to learn the first couple years. I already had banked those lessons, the ones I was just talking about, like just the discipline side of it, like waking up and just doing what you're supposed to do, doing more, not doing what you want to do, doing like what basically the team needs me to do, right? It needs to grow as a player and to grow physically, and a lot of those lessons I just learned already. So I feel like I just was able to kind of jumpstart on being able to play football.
Mm-hmm. You said you're going to bring to this team a run stopper.
Yeah.
What do you bring to the locker room? What kind of person are we getting?
Well, depends what the locker room's got in it. We got ping pong table in there. We got cornhole. Depends what we got in the locker room, but
Okay,
find a competitor in the locker room too.
Yeah.
Yep. So definitely love, I think that's probably one of the things I'm going to miss the most, about the league, is just being able to have conversations with teammates in the locker room. Like that's kind of it's just a special area, to be able to just talk and get to know people outside of football.
Now that this process is done, what's next for your off season?
Well, I mean, it's the same as it was before. Back to training, really treasuring the opportunity I had to be with the family together, because usually in OTAs, family will stay back in Utah and I come out, for the 4 days or 5 days a week, head back, go see them on the weekends. So before we start traveling again, just being able to be home and be with my wife and boys.
Well, I appreciate the time today. It's great getting to know you a little bit, and looking forward to having you here as a part of the team.
Hey, thank you. It's great.
Thanks.
Appreciate all the guys sitting down for a little bit extra time with me so we can get to know them a little bit better before we kick things off for the new season. Everybody is really excited. There's a lot going on around the facility. All the new coaches are here getting ready. The draft is up next. So right before you know it, we are going to be back here for OTAs to kick things off and get a new look at what the Saints team is going to be like in 2025. As always, you can find us on the New Orleans Saints podcast wherever you get your podcast. You can get us online at neworleanssaints.com, and select video interviews will be available on YouTube. So make sure you don't miss an episode ever, and you keep up to date with everything Saints. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to the New Orleans Saints podcast, presented by SeatGeek. Join us 3 times per week on neworleanssaints.com, the Saints mobile app, or you can download the podcast on iTunes. We'll see you next time, right here on the New Orleans Saints podcast, presented by SeatGeek.